Boom, coming in hot, Chinchy, on a Monday. How we doing, brother?
We're not coming in hot. The Casey family's coming in hot. Freaking Homer's still not landing all over the country. What happened this weekend?
Dude, you know, the proud papa syndrome kicks in. I mean, my son Jake, they were playing. They're on a big 9 and 11 day, I think, road trip. They started off with Wofford in South Carolina, and Jake hit his first homer of the year Friday, second homer Sunday, and then he hit his second on Saturday, third on Sunday. Really cool, man. Couple doubles. He was 6 for 11 for the weekend. But yeah, dude, you know, I told my dad, we were watching the game yesterday together. I go, Dad, are you kidding me? I go, I played 12 years in the big leagues. You had the DirecTV package. You were able to watch me every night. Like I'm right. That's how giddy I feel sometimes with Jakey, you know, and I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. And like I told my dad, I was like, that must have been so cool to watch your son every single night, you know, playing night in and night out.
Yeah. What do you say about that?
Oh, he was like, yeah, he's like, you kidding me? It was like a dream come true. He's like, the fact that I could turn you on and watch every night was incredible. My mom used to tell me, your dad's a mess. Every time you get up, all he does is pace it back and forth while you're hitting. He's like, I'm getting ready for him to have a heart attack or something. So my mom used to always say.
That's funny. Oh, Bella's already fired up this morning. There she is.
Oh, here we go.
You see, Bella, this is why you ruin the podcast.
Bella, what are you doing back there? Bella, what are you doing back there? You're like, oh, I know you're barking. I see you. I see you, pal. Don't you bark at me like that. So funny, dude.
You guys got to watch a video. Anyway. All right, we're good. We're back. I got Macy's got a calm. So I got these bones. We put a little cheese in there. You got Macy behind me here. Bella's down there just crushing a bone. You see her?
Yeah. Does the bone keep Bella quiet?
Yeah. Hopefully for the extent of this thing. Anyway, let's get right into it.
Oh my God.
Manny Machado, bro. They said he was going to opt out, whatever. Boom. They paid him hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. 11 years, 350 they added on. So I think he already made 150 on the front end of the deal. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be, you know, at the end of the day, it's, you know, whatever it is, 15 years for 500 million. So we're something close to that, $500 million.
Let's start here. Good idea or bad idea to sign him?
I think it's a great idea.
Money yet.
I think it's a great idea, man. I mean, this guy proves himself. I mean, how many times do you have to prove himself? Almost won the MVP this year, second in the MVP voting. Guy's one of the best players in the game. Plays a Gold Glove third base. And I think that's the biggest thing. Manny Machado plays a Gold Glove third base. Guys love him in the clubhouse. Team leader. Plays every game. If I'm Manny Machado's teammate, I love this guy. This guy shows up. He posts every day. He's ready to play. You know what I mean? And so I think it's a great sign, man. You build around these guys, 11 years, 35 million. That's the way these contracts are going. You know, obviously the back end of these deals aren't going to be great, but you're paying for these front ends. These next, you know, Machado's going to be good for the next 6-7 years. Who knows where you're going to get those last 3 or 4 years? But for the next 6-7, you're going to get an MVP type player. And I feel like him playing third, he's going to age well. You know, it's a step and a dive over there. You know, you got to make a couple movements coming in to get some of the balls, but you know, mostly it's a step and a dive. So you know, you're gonna stay healthy over there. And the guy's, you know, hits for power. He's great out there in San Diego. I don't know, man. I feel like it's a great sign. Had to be done. You do not want Manny Machado to walk, because what's going to happen? You know, is Soto going to walk in a couple years? You know, if Machado walks because you don't pay him, and Soto walks, now you got a real problem. Now your main guy's Bogarts, and I don't think they wanted that.
Yeah, I would argue,
and Tatis too. I think Tatis is going to get traded at some point.
That's not a bad thought, and I'll hit you on that in a second. But if Tatis doesn't get banged, I don't think this happens. Because here, I grabbed all the payrolls today. I actually did my homework this morning, Case.
Okay, nice.
So Machado this year, this upcoming season. Because you said, and for the fans at home, you could Google it. It's the way contracts are structured, not just in sports, but in like the world right now, are kind of like this. So Machado's only going to be making $31.2 million this year on the books.
Right
now, you got Bogarts at 25.45, Darvish 25, Musgrove 20.
Wow,
20, I forgot about that. Snell 16, Hader 14, Pomeranz 10. That's a good deal there. Now, Tatis is only making $6 million this year on that contract because of the suspension and how much money got sucked out of it. So I agree with you with the trade thing. The question will be, what's he get by next year? He's back on his own deal. At the end of the day, though, I do think I would trade him too, because you said, all right, so you saved money on him, technically speaking, to give a little bit to Machado, but you still have to pay Soto. And my next question is, how much do you pay Soto? Is he more than 31.2 per year? And that's just the low end of the year. Is he more than 35? Yeah. And if you're the Padres, at what point does the money you're paying these guys, like, how do you get back on your investment from that?
Yeah. You win a World Series. How do you get it back? You win it. That's what I think. And I also, the question on Soto, a lot of people think he's the best player in baseball. Then they're like, is he? Like, I don't know. Like, does the best player in baseball hit 240 once? Does he ever do that? Does Mike Trout ever hit 240? I don't think so. So, and also too, like, do you want the best player in baseball to just walk? You know what I mean? Or you're a great on base guy? No. I need the best player in baseball to drive in runs.
Right.
I need the best player in baseball to hit 300. I need the best player in baseball to hit
argument.
Right. Exactly. Like, do you want Joey Votto driving in 120, hitting 35, or you want him having a 420 on base? You know what I mean? Like, for me, I need the big money guys to drive and run. The object of the game is to score more runs than the other team. Runs you can produce. How many runs do you score? How many runs do you drive in? I know we have all these new metrics, but at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. Do you have guys that can drive in runs? Do you have guys that could go out of the zone sometimes and hit a bullet somewhere? For me, a guy like Soto, he's got something to prove this year. Like, I know he's young. I know he's legit. There's no doubt. But hey, doing what he did last year, to pay him $40 million a year, you got to show me something.
I like that. And this is what explains to you how difficult it is to run a franchise like this, because you have to answer all those questions. And right before we came on, you were like, dude, we got to talk about the Blue Jays and what Mr. Shapiro did over there, because you think he really enhanced his front office by getting somebody this week.
Well, listen, Jim Crane and those guys got rid of James Click last year, who is one of the best front office guys in the game. Obviously, was the GM of the Astros, and they won the World Series. And then he didn't get signed back. Mark Shapiro comes in, being the great mind that he is, and Ross Saggers, let's sign him to be James Click to come in and be the vice president of baseball strategy for the Blue Jays. I love it, man. It's a great sign. This guy's such a forward thinker. Some of the signings that he had that he brought into the Astros helped them win the whole thing. I love it. And I some moves for players on the field. Well, sometimes the off the field moves, the front office moves, turn out to be, when you start looking at teams, you go, wow, how'd they put this team together? Man, they got some pretty smart people in the front office. I think it's a great sign for the Blue Jays.
Yeah. And, it gives a lot of credit to the organization for saying, okay, you need this guy, we'll pay this guy. Because like, if you look at like something in like football, like Jerry Jones runs the Cowboys. So he's not going to listen as much to those guys. And you see they have not won a championship in years. You need guys, you need to trust your employees to do the job for you, to make them better, to make you better as an owner or a boss, right?
No doubt about it. Yeah, you 100%. You need those, and you need to be pushed. Mark Shapiro is a guy. The thing I love about Mark, and if you haven't seen that episode, go back and check out, the episode with Mark Shapiro a few weeks ago, is that the guy's always looking to learn. Some people would say he's the best executive in sports and baseball, whatever. The way he thinks, he would probably cringe that I say that, because he's always very humble. But at the end of the day, he's like, man, I'm always looking to learn. I'm always seeking to how to get an advantage, to get better, to put smart people around me to help me get smarter. I just think that's the way to go, man. I think if in this industry, if you don't stay humble and know that it takes a team around you you're only as good as the people you hang out with, only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And what they say, you become the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. If you put some really smart people, some really good baseball people, and you put them around you, guys that push each other, iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? You start to say, okay, man, this guy's making me better. He works hard. He's got great skills. I have to elevate my game. And all of a sudden you just start doing that and you put the right people around you. You can't help but to elevate your life, elevate your craft, elevate whatever that you put those good people around you with.
Iron sharpens iron. Can we get t-shirt made?
Huh? Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
With Sean Casey. Iron sharpens iron. I'm on that.
I think I stole that from a proverb, but it's legit.
Strong. All right, hey, let's move. We're on a roll right now. Let's keep going. Spring training going on. Some guys, spring training comes out. Boom, Vlad Guerrero. What's he done this spring?
Yeah, Vlad, he's got 2 bombs out the gates.
Trey Turner went deep.
Trey Turner went deep for the Phillies.
Yeah. So
go ahead, Chinch. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say for you as a player, everybody talks about don't worry about spring training or worry about spring training. Explain how good it is to get off a good start in spring training. It's got to feel better than getting off to a shitty start, right?
It does. It feels good to get off to a good start. I think this year it's a little different too, Chinch, because the WBC is coming up. Opening day for the BC is March 11th. So if I'm a player like a Trey Turner or Vlad Guerrero playing in the WBC, man, I want to get off to that start. I need good at-bats. I need those confidence booster at-bats. I need to get in there and square up some balls and drive some balls out of the park and drive some balls in the gaps. Really, get some good at bats. And I think that's what you're going to see. Hopefully you might see guys doing better at the beginning of spring training and knowing there's a sense of urgency that when March 11th starts for that WBC, they got to be ready to, for the jump. They got to be ready when they cross those white lines. There's no time to say, well, it's still spring training. No, you sign up for the WBC to win ball games. You sign up to produce. And so these guys have a different sense of urgency to get ready for that March 11th opening day of the WBC.
I've never asked you this, but I'll ask it now. I think I know the answer. Would you have played in a WBC if it was?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I would have loved to have played. I would have loved to have been asked. I think it started right when I was retiring. I think 2008 was my last year. I want to say that was the first WBC or right around there. It was getting
right around
started.
A year to the network, which was 2009. So
so right about there. Yeah, right about there. Especially now where it's at in 2023. Like the fact that you see the rosters of the U.S. and Dominican and Venezuela and Puerto Rico and Japan, dude, the best players in the game are playing in the WBC this year. The spring training, when spring training, goes that second half, you're going to see nothing but the prospects filling up spring training because the best players in the game are in this WBC. And like you were saying a few weeks ago, if you haven't gotten a ticket and you have a shot to see these guys wherever they are, if it's Miami, San Diego, I don't know where the venues are. I know they're in Miami, a couple of them. Go see because this is going to be like the All-Star game. This package is going to be incredible.
All right, I got a question for you. I don't think I ever asked you this, but I think I know the answer. When you were playing, if the WBC was what it is today, would you have said yes? Would you have played?
Oh, no doubt about it, man. No doubt. I mean, just to wear the USA on my chest to represent your country, I think that would be huge. I must admit, though, when it first started, I think a lot of players were leery, like, man, they use spring training to get ready for the season. And I think now in 2023, when you're seeing, the guys that are playing now and how much it means to their countries, I think it's a totally different animal, now. So yes, I would have loved to have played in WBC and talking to Mark DeRosa, who's the manager, for the US. I mean, he's just excited. I know DeRo's having sleepless nights right now. So thinking about who's he going to play, how's he going to do it, what's the bullpen matchups he wants, who's he going to start. I know he's going crazy because it's that big a deal to these guys, man. You're representing countries. That's why all these players are playing. All these players are playing because they're representing their countries, and it's a big deal now. Now the WBC is what Rob Manfred thought, he wanted it to be back when they started, was this big production to showcase the talent of these players and to showcase it to the world in a big tournament. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. And you know what? You just made such a great point about DeRo. Let's go there for a second because look, we're lucky enough to be friends with the guy. He's a great guy. One of the funniest people.
Funniest dudes ever. Yeah.
But I got a chance to work with him. That guy cuts a breakdown tape as hardcore as anybody I've ever seen. All he wants to do is do his best. Talk a little bit about DeRosa's work ethic and the amount he must be carrying. And honestly, he is so invested in doing a good job at anything he does in his life, whether it be with his kids, his family, and work, and whatever. You're right. Sleepless nights. He is going in this thing to win the whole thing and prove, by the way, also, Mark DeRosa is going to be an MLB manager one day, I think. And I think this is a perfect place for him to showcase that he can do that. What are your thoughts on that?
Chinch, I totally agree, dude. And he got the job. He got offered the job towards the end of the season. So I was with him a couple times at MLB Central. Bro, he's calling guys. He's like a salesman. I mean, first off, he lucked out because, you're only as good as your players at the end of the day, who plays. The fact
that he's pretty good.
His team's legit, but the fact that Trout was playing, Trout started making calls, making DeRo's job easier. Now, DeRo was following up. I think Judge is the one guy DeRo's bummed is not going to play. But I know he was following up with guys, and dude, he was stressing about it in freaking September. Now that we're here, I got to give him a call and see what he's doing. But I know I'm worried about him. I know he's got heartburn like 3 a.m. He wakes up to take a piss. He's like straight heartburn thinking about Trout in the 3-hole, Schwarber. Oh my God, we got, all these different guys, Trey Turner. What am I going to do is these just so many different great players, Real Muto and, just a Goldschmidt. And what am I going to do with these pitchers and bullpen guys? So DeRo's the right guy for the job. They got the right guy. This guy's going to be a big league manager. Nobody funnier, nobody more intense, nobody more passionate, nobody more excited for the game of baseball and for life than Mark DeRosa, and one of the funniest dudes you'll ever meet in your life. When he doesn't realize it, but just whenever he talks with that Jersey accent, you're like,
start laughing.
This guy's serious? And he is. And then he's one of, then all of a sudden, don't forget, he played quarterback at Penn, super
Ivy
smart
leaguer.
Dude. Ivy Leaguer like you. You guys get together and have your own, hey, you're Ivy League. Yeah, let's go to lunch.
Yeah.
I know you do. I know.
And, let me go back to Judge real quick. This just popped into my head. I know you can knock him for not going, but think about how stressful his year was last year.
Right.
A full year of baseball with every single word that was a microphone in his mouth every day going, are you going to be a Yankee? You going here? You going there? You going there? I moved my dad out of his house this past weekend. I am physically and mentally exhausted. And that was only like a 5-day period. So I don't hate on him too bad for not doing this. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, listen, everyone has their own seasons of life, man, at the end of the day. And for Judge right now, the craziness he had last year, the chasing 62, the crazy offseason of signing the big deal. I think listen, 4 years from now, I bet you Aaron Judge plays in the WBC. This season of life for Aaron Judge, it just doesn't make sense for him. He wants to be with his teammates. He wants to kind of settle into this spring, get ready for the season, just sign that big deal. And the Yankees probably had a say in that too, man. They just gave him $360 million. The season of life for Aaron Judge, the WBC doesn't fit in right now, but it probably will down the line.
Season of life.
Seasonal. And we all have our seasons of life, Chichi.
We were talking about perspective before we came on. Did you have something to say about that?
Well, and just, I was just talking to, Aaron Boone and I were just having a great conversation about, at the end of the day, I was just downstairs doing the, getting some lifting and getting some push-ups, getting some back work in, trying to get a stronger back, stronger core, stronger, chest, whatever, some legs. And so think about this. I'm working my muscles to get stronger. I do something every day to move, right, to stay healthy. Well, we were talking about perspective. You work your perspective muscle every day. You work your gratitude muscle every day. And that's why I said the first thing I write down in my journal every morning, and I was showing this to my daughter, Carly, yesterday. First thing I write is, Lord, thank you for another day. And I say, thank you for another 22,000 breaths I'm going to take today. Thank you for another 100,000 heartbeats I'm going to have today. Thank you for the fact that I'm 1 in 420 trillion. The fact of me being here as a human, I won the life lottery today, right? And then thank you for the fact I have clean water, because 850 million people out there don't have access to clean water, right? One of the worst things. So it's like, oh man, that's the first thing I write down to work my perspective muscle. Yeah, every day I work the perspective muscle so that I can, and how we were relating to the baseball was, listen, there are so many times where you struggle in baseball. It's just such a game of failure. It'll just beat you down. It'll rip your soul out at times if you don't have the proper perspective. if you do know, I can't tell you how many times, man, I just would have insomnia looking at the ceiling at the Westin in Chicago after 0 for 4, 2 punch outs, blew it with the game on the line. And I just continue to have to work the perspective muscle to say, listen, this isn't life or death. You know, I at the time, I'm married, I got kids, I have family, I have a mom and dad. A lot of people helped me get here. I have this unbelievable talent. We all have that in life, not just baseball players. Everybody does. Everybody has this ability to work the perspective muscle and just to be here. And I just think I think that's such a big deal, Chinch. I know it's been for my life. Every day, looking at the things that I have and sometimes the things I don't have. Thank God I don't have running water. Thank God I have clean water to go to. Thank God I'm not one of the 850 million that doesn't have access to that. So I don't know. It was a good conversation with Boone to say, when you get in that batter's box, if you want to be a great baseball player, you better work your perspective muscle. You want to be a great baseball player, you better work your gratitude muscle. You better know that when you get in there, man, this isn't life or death. You're playing a game. And what people don't realize, we worry sometimes in life all the time. Sometimes we worry sometimes in baseball. What if this happens? What if this happens? No, man, that's just suffering in imagination. You got to suffer in reality at times. What's going on right now? You know what I mean? And let me face it. Let me charge it. And let me let it, we talk about all the time, adversity, fear, all that stuff. When you run right for it, it shrinks. And I think too many times we work the worry muscle in this world, and it gets our wheels spinning. So work the perspective muscle in our lives. And I just feel like when you do it, it gets stronger, and it just feels better, man. It's just more peace when you're working perspective.
Sorry, I was muted. I love that. And the last thing you just said, is one of my biggest things. I always tell the younger guys, if I work with them and girls, you say, attack it, punch your mistakes in the face too, in a way where it's I always tell somebody, let's just say back in the day, I'll give an example, MLB Network, I have an associate producer who did something, screwed something up, something didn't go well, it didn't get on the air. And we'll walk up to him right after and be like, hey, what happened? Well, and my advice to them is always just punch it in, own it. Take ownership.
Yeah, take accountability. Yeah, right? I like that.
So when I always say to everybody, and I'll say this to anybody who's listening right now, when you walk up to somebody, even if it's your boss, if it's your parents, if it's your coaches, whatever, and the initial thing you say is, that was my fault, it's not going to happen again. Right. Bam, the argument
dies.
Over. It's over. All the stress you had. Let's say you got to meet with your boss on Monday and it's Friday and you screwed up on Friday. I'm going to talk to him on Monday. You're just going to, if in your head, I'm just going to own it and we'll move on from there. Because most people on the flip side of that are used to people making excuses for things. So they're getting ready for the fight too. This argument, and this goes with relationships and everything. It's if you're gearing up for a fight and somebody goes, hey, listen, you know what? I'll have to take the blame.
My bad.
And we'll move on. Now the other person is okay, great. I'm glad I'm glad I know. Right. We move on from that mistake. It's just, I made a mistake. It's never going to happen again. You just got a better employee out of me because I'm never going to do that again. And I'll make sure nobody else does here. Boom, you're better. You're not swinging it, 3-1 count, generally speaking. You're not going to be sitting change up 80% of the time. You're going to sit fastball, and you learn as you grow up. Hey, you know what? I know 3-1 count. I'm going to swing at my pitch. I'm not going to swing at his pitch. And so it's a perspective you learn after swinging and missing at a bunch of change ups when you're in high school. Yeah, on 3-1 counts. I don't know.
Yeah. You're right. Failure's feedback. And if people are making mistakes and you're the boss and you're just reaming people all the time, that doesn't help people. No. Hey, man, you made a mistake. I love the analogy, Chinch, when you talk about mistakes, is whenever, a director's in a movie and these actors are in there, right? And what happens? What do? They say, hey, take 2, mistake, take 3. It's a mistake. Let's take it again. Take 4, take 5. How many times do you hear these great actors say, man, we did 500 takes today trying to get this scene perfect? Yeah. How'd you get the scene perfect? On the mistakes you made along to get to the take that worked, right? We need mistakes. Failure's feedback. Like, and the worst thing you can do is sit on the couch and be like, you know what? I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to feel, rejected. I don't want to feel, no. Get off your couch, go make a million mistakes and then freaking dominate your craft, right? That's the end of the day. It's a mistake.
Perfect example. Sometimes we've done 30, 40, 50-minute shows. And I would say there's about 3 total where I've gone, it didn't record. Case didn't yell at me. Case would go, all right,
let's do it again. Let's do it again.
We do it again. You just get back on the horse, man. Anyway,
it's true.
Stuff,
it's true.
Good stuff to end the show with today. Yeah. I feel ready for the day now. Finally,
great stuff. Chinch. Dude, I also went and got my finger fixed. I went
shit. That's right. That's a great.
Went to the doctor. I mean, this is ridiculous. That's the finger, but
oh my god.
Yeah, they went and put a splint. I got a mallet finger. I tore the tendon right at the top of your finger here, and you have to like put it in this splint so it goes back. 6 weeks in this thing.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Are you kidding? I was thinking the same thing, but if you don't, it'll just fall like that. It'll heal like that. So
I wonder, do you think there's some form of like wear and tear that happened from swinging a baseball bat and getting jammed?
No, dude, can you believe it? I got hurt taking my pants off, dude. It's a joke.
No. Dude,
I don't play basketball because I'm scared to get hurt. Now I take my pants off and get my finger caught in and it tore the tendon in my finger.
That's so crazy. Especially because you played so much and played so hard as a professional baseball player with like I said, 100-mile-per-hour pitches coming at your head every day. The craziest one out of everything was Dan Plesac played what 20 or 21 years in the majors, never went on a DL, and then a year into MLB Network, he took a swing from the rough in a golf while he was golfing, and literally his hip exploded. Remember that?
All the muscles in his hip. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Incredible.
And never was on a DL in 20 years.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
You have faced Randy Johnson at 102 and never hurt your finger like that. And you hurt your finger
taking my pants off. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Clean it up,
life, man. That's it. That's where you roll with the punches. That's
right. That's a mistake. I'll never take my pants off that way again.
I don't even know what you did. Did you get it in
dude, I wear these you wear these pants are like the joggers, So I wear those. So I was going to take those off, take my pants off, and I got it caught in the jogger, and it just shot my finger backwards, and bam.
I have one complaint about those pants, man, because I wear them all the time.
Unknown caller.
My phone's ringing. Sorry.
Jesus. Good song. Was that Breathe?
Did it go off?
A little bit.
Yeah. That's Breath in a spring.
Oh, wait, super quick. How about that video I sent you the other day? There's an Instagram page called Grunge Bible. If you're not following it. It's all music.
So good.
I sent Case this the other day. Go look at their thing. It was somebody walking on Yawkey Way the night of a Pearl Jam concert.
Yeah, 2018.
Was that 2018?
At Fenway, they were playing Release, right?
They were playing Release, and the entire city sounded like the entire city was singing it. That was really cool.
Incredible, dude. Incredible. And also, I want to give a shout out to Ed Vedder, who sent us all those things. Dude, we end up making $60,000 on that ukulele he sent us.
No way.
Yeah, incredible. He wrote the lyrics to Release on the back, which it was a 1-of-1 piece. So pretty cool. So whoever got that, thank you so much for supporting Miracle League of the South Hills.
Yeah, and by
all
the way,
the people that support us.
Yeah, and whoever got that, can I send you my resume? Because if you got $60K to play on a ukulele,
you want to start a podcast? You want to start a podcast? Yeah.
Yes. Holy Stromboli. Well, that's great, dude. I'm so great. Other stuff was
oh, dude, yeah,
great auction, dude.
Incredible auction. Yeah, we made some good money. We're very grateful for that, man. Incredible.
Excellent. All right, well, great way to start the week then with this positivity. Okay,
awesome, Chinch. Hey, bro, I love you, man. Have a great day today, everyone
Unknown
out there.
caller.
Have a great day, like we said. Only 20% of you are subscribing to us. We need you to start subscribing. Hit that little plus button on your wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and subscribe to the mayor's office with me and Chinch. We need it, baby. We need it.
We need it.
All right, Chinch. Have a great day, brother, to you, and Chinch, great day to everybody. I'll see you guys later.
Beautiful.